like they did Chris and kept doing things like whelmed instead of underwhelmed or overwhelmed.
All right. Yep, see, caught all this other stuff that I didn't know was going to be on there. But
Are we live?
you're live. Hello, everyone, and welcome to this week's edition of the Just Two Marks Wrestling Recap Show. I am the Athletic Geek, and I'm joined once again by Jedi Jason Kruger. Got quite a bit to talk about right now. We had the eventful week, maybe not necessarily in the WWE, but we had an eventful week in wrestling, and we're starting during SmackDown. Even though we rarely get to talk about SmackDown, because it's not on either one of our television packages. But we're both very tired and had long days, so
It's time to get the ball rolling.
we're just going to roll the ball like a bowling ball down the lane. That's what we're doing.
If you've never seen this show before,
This is Just Two Marks Wrestling Recap Show. Jedi and I have been watching wrestling together for well over 15 years, or just maybe over 15 years. How long until it is well over something?
Good question. I don't know.
After
It's got to
say-
be at least a couple of years after, right?
So by 2022,
yeah.
we can say.
Yeah.
Okay, all right, we're good.
Sounds good.
Yeah. Both love wrestling, love talking wrestling with other passionate wrestling fans like all of you out there. However, our opinions are just like all of yours. We're not insiders. We are not wrestlers. We are just two marks. And we avoid insider terms because of the aforementioned reasons.
That's right.
Let's get into Raw. Let's get that over and done with.
Raw. Let's see. So, Orton and AJ are continuing to have disagreement, and McIntyre decided to involve himself. They had a triple threat, and McIntyre won.
Good for McIntyre. It was a good match.
Good match.
Good for McIntyre.
Yeah. He's
Oh, no,
starting
next
off
week's the-
2020
Next week's the Royal Rumble.
already.
Yeah.
Tell you what, no matter how many noises you turn off, there's always more.
Yeah.
All right.
Next week's the Royal Rumble, so you know,
Damn.
hey.
So next week's the Royal Rumble.
Which leads me to also say, I guess I'll do this shill first. We are having a Royal Rumble giveaway. Woo! I'm going to go through all the prizes now, and this kind of gets y'all ready for everything.
Get hyped.
Get hyped. The first prize is we're giving away a big prize pack. Coming next week, there'll be an unboxing video. Got some random DVDs and some random little knickknacks. So you will win a DVD. Grand prize wins one DVD, a T-shirt, a figure, and two comics. Two comics.
Two comics. Ooh.
Yeah.
All right.
So that's the grand prize winner.
Grand prize.
Second prize, two comics and a figure. Third prize, comic and a figure. And anybody who can correctly guess, regardless of the rest of their picks, both the men and the women's Royal Rumble winners right, they get a comic book.
There you go.
You could get everything else wrong, but if you can manage to get both of them right, you're at least guaranteed a comic.
Hey.
So so be on the lookout for the unboxing video. And there's actually going to be, in addition to the grand prize, there's one more little surprise from that unboxing video. But you'll have to wait for the unboxing video to see what the extra surprise is, and that will go to the grand prize winner. So,
Cool.
first place, special, super secret, super surprise, DVD, shirt, figure, two comic books. Second prize, two comic books and a figure. You know what I might even do? I might even do two comic books and two figures, and for both number one, number two. Third prize will just be a comic book and a figure, and then comic books for everybody who guesses the winners.
Right.
So
The men's and women's Royal Rumbles. Yep.
So be on the lookout on my after the full card is announced. Be on the lookout on my social media pages, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and be sure to post your predictions, so that way there's public record of it.
Yep.
On one of those pages, and hopefully I'll be sending some cool swag your way.
Yeah.
But yes, Drew McIntyre might be kind of setting himself up to be a dark horse for the Rumble.
Right? He's not, like, if you asked me a month ago, I'd been like, Drew's not going to win it. Now it's like, well, he's in the running. So,
Right.
Let's see. Mojo Rawley exists, but so does Ricochet.
No, SmackDown's not finished. We're just getting a little early start on it because we're both exhausted AF.
Yep, it's a thing.
It's
It's all good. We started with Raw.
I'm gonna start with Raw. So
Yeah,
it only goes up from here.
that's right. Charlotte and Sarah Logan had an actual match, and Charlotte Flair won. So, more Charlotte Flair, proving that she's going to be a solid contender in the Royal Rumble because she's Charlotte Flair. So,
Well, here's the thing, like.
not that I'm hating on her. I'm just saying.
This is kind of like whenever I was mad about Charlotte winning the SmackDown Women's title and getting inserted into the main event, it wasn't because I disliked Charlotte Flair. I just did not want her in that role. I wanted Asuka to have her title.
Yeah.
So Asuka could have had a real match on the card.
Mm-hmm.
And I just felt like it should have been Becky and Ronda.
Yep.
Yeah.
They could totally have done a Charlotte Flair versus Asuka rematch from the year before or something. Anything.
Yeah. So.
Or Ember Moon versus Asuka. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Anyway, that ship has sailed for now. But
well, more on that. More on that next week on the prediction show with that point. Tune in next
Ember's
week.
out with an injury.
Oh no, not Ember.
Oh,
No.
Okay.
More on that later. More on all that later.
Let's see. Poor Truth. He entertains us, but it was time for
That was funny.
Lesnar to murder him.
That was hilarious. I love that segment with, he's in there talking. You think he's talking shit to Lesnar, but he's talking shit to Paul Heyman. And then the only thing that would have been, part of me wanted to see this happen, and part of me didn't. Would just see like if have Paul Heyman cover him and win the 24/7 title.
Yeah.
And have Paul Heyman saying like, "Look at me in the 24/7 title," and then
Right.
somebody comes along
Right.
and embarrasses Paul Heyman.
But instead, it was Mojo Rawley who snuck in after everything was said and done, and took the 24/7 title. So Mojo Rawley is the new 24/7.
Now, did you want Becky Ronda or did you want Becky and Sasha? Easy, come on, buddy. You were the one saying that the boss should have been in the main event.
I hate Becky versus Sasha. It was good, especially the Hell in a Cell. It's like the best part of Hell in a Cell. Just saying.
Oh, I
No, I know what you're saying.
They compare another little sidetrack. WWE posted a article on their Twitter, or a link to an article on Twitter, about how they said that Sasha Banks is the Michael Jordan of the WWE, and I just put on there, no, Michael Jordan was not overrated. And the swarms of Sasha fans coming after me, and I said, how can you say she's overrated? She's like, I think she's a good, not great wrestler, and I think her character reminds me of a little girl playing with, playing with Bratz accessories. It's overrated. But she's the, and all these different things. I'm like, I don't like Sasha Banks. You like her? That's cool.
Sasha Banks reminds me of what my youngest daughter is going to end up growing up to be. I kid you not. With all the princess outfits and the glitz and the... Anyway.
Annie Hoozles.
Rusev fought Bobby Lashley because
why not?
I mean, Rusev versus Lashley is not a bad thing. It's just we've got this whole storm cloud of a story hanging over it, so...
Cuckolding. and not the representation
and since we need...
that the LGBT community would want in their storylines.
So in true WWE form, the good guys still can't get one over on the villains in this story. So Rusev lost. And then they announced a mixed tag for next week with him and Liv Morgan versus Lashley and Rusev. There's Royal Rumble going on right now. And then there's this story. Anyway.
I can't explain.
Viking Raiders beat the Singh brothers because, you know.
The Viking Raiders.
Exactly. Oh, Becky and Asuka. Becky got sprayed in the face. And then, you know, we have one of those I'm going down. If I'm going down, I'm taking you with me kind of.
I awaited some. MJ never swapped championships every week. Yeah, that's true too. That's also true too.
Aleister Black versus Buddy Murphy is still
That
the
was-
thing that's happening.
That was awesome. Except for a little itty bitty miscommunication at the end. I love that match. Hey, LB. Yep. I gotta give you a shout out. Oh, hey, be sure to enter the contest, bud.
Eric Rowan still has a cage. And we had our first ever fist fight match.
Yeah.
That happened. So explain to me how Big Show doesn't win in a fist fight match when they've established that his fist is a finishing move.
Yep.
Anyway.
Yep.
I will stand here and praise Aleister Black, whose finishing move is a strike, and then complain about Big Show, whose finishing move is a strike.
Well, I didn't mind the
I don't
finishing
have any hypocrisy.
I don't mind the Big Show's finish move being a strike, but you're right. It's like, okay, then theoretically he should just win.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not. Yeah. So yeah, it's pretty much Raw.
Oh,
Go ahead.
we should mention that Buddy Murphy did help Seth Rollins' team win. So.
Oh, and I did forget something else from the giveaway before I forget
Okay.
again. The Marty, our previous winner chose to save the Marty Skrull autograph. Well, it's going to be in the grand prize too,
okay.
so you can get Marty Skrull's autograph. Speaking of Marty Skrull, sorry,
Segue. No, you're
segue.
fine. You're fine.
Yes, we, Buddy Murphy is with Seth Rollins. I like the idea of this stable. But speaking of Marty Skrull, because this is, we have somebody waiting to be called in. And one of our chatters is calling in because, it's time to get his opinion on things. If he picks up. Doing it live.
Hello, guys.
Hello.
Hello.
Hey, there we go.
Yep. So, we're segueing into the big news. First, the big news is that Marty Skrull will not be going to AEW. As a matter of fact, Marty Skrull has signed an allegedly 7-figure contract with ROH to not only stay but become the kind of the head matchmaker. And kind of shocking, because you would have thought that that Marty Skrull would have gone with his friends.
Yeah.
I mean, in all actuality.
Yeah. Well,
I got
kind of sounds like you went for
couple
a better
of
deal.
questions. I got just a couple of questions. A, did you literally just say a 17-year contract? I heard.
I heard it's a 7-figure contract.
Oh, 7-figure. Okay. I thought
Like
you
he's
said
getting at least $1 million.
What? Wait,
I've heard that.
Wait, Ring of Honor has $17 million.
Seven or just
Can we?
7 figures, so he's getting at least $1 million.
Okay, can we at least can we check that ROH even has that money anymore?
Well, ROH never did have $1 million, but Sinclair Broadcast Company does.
It's right, but who's paying his contract? Sinclair or Ring of Honor?
I don't know. This is all the proverbial rumor and innuendo.
Tony Khan may have the financial backing of AEW, but is he the one that actually shoots out the contracts or the money per se?
Well, here's the thing.
Like,
And this kind of, if he was offered, even if he wasn't offered $1 million, he was offered still high six-figure money. We all love Marty. We all love Marty. We all love Marty, but we know how great he is. We know what an asset he was to the build up to All In, with as being part of the Elite and everything. But at the end of the day, Marty was just an independent Ring of Honor guy. So let's say.
Or was he a heavyweight?
Well, but let's say that they give Marty. Let's say they match that contract offer for Marty.
Like that whole bullshit with the heavyweight thing and all that. It's like, oh my god, just drop it. You're fighting Okada, okay?
It's still a good story going to the match, but anyway,
back to reality.
So let's say they match that offer and Marty takes it, and then down the road, Jay Lethal or the Briscoe brothers or Matt Taven, God forbid, want to get signed by AEW. They're going to go, I want Marty money. And whenever they go, we're not going to give you Marty money.
Jay White is going to Supercard of Honor, as I heard.
Okay.
He's actually confirmed for.
Yeah, so is Kenta. Kenta, the good member of the Bullet Club. Anyway.
I couldn't agree more, really. Just like, if I were to really think like who should actually be like the true Bullet Club leader right now, I would actually go with Kenta. I think he could kind of bounce it back.
Jay should be the mouthpiece, but he shouldn't be like the world champion. It should be kind of similar to,
Or basically just have like.
It'd be like when Carl Anderson was doing most of the big talking, but AJ was the rest of the guy. AJ was the world champion.
Or like Cody and Kenny, like they were kind of like the leaders going back and forth for a while, except in this case we want to have a civil war. But, I don't know. I would kind of think if AEW if AEW and New Japan actually put together an invasion angle, I would prefer Kenta representing Bullet Club.
I don't think. Let's leave New Japan aside for right now.
Yeah.
A lot of people are speculating, and we got some more comments. If Jedi, you want to pull that up real quick. A lot of people are speculating that now that Marty is the head matchmaker for Ring of Honor, that possibly there could be a bridge built between Ring of Honor and AEW.
Right.
So his friends died. All right, so we'll have 7 figures with Marty around. Well, but again, Marty's, but we'll get to that. Here's the thing. Is it more likely with Marty having this position that maybe we could see that? Absolutely. But at the end of the day, Marty's just a matchmaker. He doesn't own the company. He doesn't run the company. He's not the president of the company. He's just the head matchmaker.
If ROH, though, is like putting him as like a head booker, like they're gonna have to listen to him on it. He's got an idea on the AEW like cross-point division.
You have gotten really quiet, Easy. You sound really quiet and far away from the phone.
Yeah, you got like a million miles away.
We can barely hear you, and I can't. Yeah. It's probably not coming across on the stream.
I can barely hear you.
No, I mean, we got quiet right now. Like it sounds like you're a million miles away. Maybe don't be on speaker. Be on regular phone. Better. It wasn't as good as it was a second ago.
Talk loud.
How about now?
Nope. Sorry, guys.
I can hear myself, so I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, we can barely hear you. We'll call you right back.
All right.
Please stand by.
Alright, how about now?
Yeah,
There
we're
we
good.
go.
We're good.
That's perfect.
There we go.
But here's back to what I was saying, just picking up right where I left off. If Ring of Honor and Sinclair still go fuck those guys, then it doesn't matter who's in charge. It won't happen. So I think before we all go hip hip hooray, they're all going to get along together, and we're going to have Ring of Honor guys in AEW, and AEW is going to send some of their guys to Ring of Honor. We should keep it.
What has Ring of Honor done in television lately?
I'm not disagreeing with the fact that
numbers where people are tuning in to see. Hey, let's see what Ring of Honor's up to.
I agree with you. I completely agree with you. But you just unless we're there, we don't know what the politics will be like. Would it be the right call? Would it be, to borrow a cliche from Triple H, what's best for business? Absolutely. Is Ring of Honor going to allow Marty to build that bridge that could be best for business? The jury's still out. I'd love to see it, but it's not. Marty having that spot is not a guarantee. I compare it to Notre Dame could hire Bill Belichick to be their football coach tomorrow, but if the university doesn't let him recruit the players he needs to recruit, they ain't going to win. Same thing with this situation. They could have one of their own matchmaking for Ring of Honor, but if Ring of Honor says, no, we ain't doing business with All Elite Wrestling, it don't matter.
I mean, I don't know. I don't know what, Ring of Honor's thinking, because, New Japan, the reason they've still been, solid is, they don't need to worry about shows. They just put pay-per-views, and they're just amazing.
New Japan just does. New Japan just does tours. They don't do they don't have an American TV format. So,
Well, they got with New Japan America, but I don't think they're going to do a show. They're just going to do the New Japan format. It's hey, we'll just put on pay-per-views every month or so.
They don't do pay.
That's how New Japan.
New Japan doesn't do pay-per-views. New Japan does they'll have their big tournaments, and then they'll go on tour for a week or two, and have some setup, and then they'd have their show, and then they go on tour for, the big one, the G1 Climax is their big tour, in the summer, and it'll be in the fall this year, where they just have matches for a month straight, and then they go away. So it kind of avoids burnout, but it's a format that works in Japan. It won't work in America. America, we want our weekly TV, which is why. But the reason Ring of Honor hasn't been worth a shit is just because they just don't have the talent anymore. They have some good people. They have Marty. They have PCO. They had Roosh. They have Lethal, but they don't have they didn't have the hot hand like they did last year because they had the Elite.
Right.
And Ring of Honor took it kind of personally that the Elite didn't re-sign with them, but if you believe what they say on the wrestlers on the road ordering room service video with Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks, that apparently they got a low ball offer from Ring of Honor, so why stay?
Right.
Ring of Honor needs AEW more than AEW needs Ring of Honor.
Really
Go on.
I'm on the Ring of Honor website, and I'm literally looking when they do their broadcasting. Apparently, so they're on Fight TV Mondays at 7. Okay, well, I guess you try to broadcast yourself before Raw. Well, trying something. Tuesdays at 10 in Canada on the Fight Network, and then some channel called Charge Sundays at 10. It's what the hell's Charge?
It's just kind of it's on local TV stations for us that are owned by Sinclair Broadcast.
Every weekend on your local Sinclair station, check local listings. Okay, do you want to be specific? What Sinclair station we talking?
Well, Sinclair owns a bunch of stations. It just depends. You have to look it up in your area. Like we have 2 Sinclair stations in this area. You know.
Still, like, I don't know. I just, at the moment, I just have not been taking Ring of Honor seriously.
Oh, I haven't taken. I lost all respect for Ring of Honor at Madison Square Garden. That's when I knew that company was.
Basically. But New Japan killed it. Ring of Honor killed it too until people we will not mention ruined a certain.
No, well, I'm not going to say that. I'm going to say that every match that was good on that card had a New Japan guy in it. The tag match I didn't like. The women's match was trash. The opening match with Jeff Cobb and Will Ospreay was pretty good, but it was Jeff Cobb is just as much a New Japan guy as he was a.
I didn't mind that.
What match?
Jeff Cobb.
I'm putting it over. I'm saying that it was good. I'm just saying they're both pretty much. Jeff Cobb is as much a New Japan guy as he is a Ring of Honor guy. You know, those were essentially 2 New Japan guys.
I remember when Dalton Castle lost in like 15 seconds.
Yeah, now that could have been a good match, but then they did that with it. So.
I couldn't stop laughing. That was hysterical.
That was stupid. Just because I'm like, they had their chance. They had their chance to have a good match from Ring of Honor, and they said they decided to just do that. So.
Speaking of which, what's happened to his boys lately? I've never even know why.
I don't know. I don't watch Ring of Honor. I don't know what happened with the boys.
Exactly.
But again, there's another name. Hey, he wants to go to AEW. If they would have paid Marty, high 6 figures, hey, I want me and the boys to have that. Well, you're not getting it. Well, screw you.
Right.
According to a certain vlogger, we might have a new face, and you know what that means. If no one actually got the joke.
No.
Sammy Guevara's latest vlog had a certain former Wyatt member on the vlog, and the internet's actually having a freak out.
That's cool.
Like the formerly known as Luke Harper, Brody Lee, he was apparently on Sammy's vlog, and he was in Corpus Christi too. So I'm actually wondering, wait, he was there, but why was he in AEW, or they just haven't confirmed yet?
They probably need to wait till they have pen to paper on things, because they set up Marty Scurll's return, and Marty Scurll ain't coming. So they're probably going to wait till they actually have a signed contract before they start making any plans for that. But
plus, he's still on 30-day no.
I'm still thinking, maybe if you have because I'm still sticking with my gut that maybe at some point we could get Broken Matt as the real ringleader of Dark Order, which come on, that would just be perfect. Brody Lee, okay, maybe work with it. I would love to see him finally get
I've never seen him in a leading role before. Yeah, but Jedi, you haven't really weighed in much on Marty. Let's before we wrap up this segment, what's your take? Final thoughts on Marty.
You probably are aware I'm not super familiar with Marty because,
right.
Elite and NJPW and ROH haven't kept up. But I'd be interested to see what happens. I feel like he has, being friends with the Elite and stuff, he has more of a finger on the pulse of what fans would want than Bully Ray.
He has rebuilt the bridge with the NWA. Mm-hmm. Which is good.
Yeah.
So now ROH can continue to leech off of other promotions to become relevant.
I mean, what more do you expect from someone named the Villain? I mean, it may be what Ring of Honor needs. So it'd be interesting
they did need a change. I just don't. But before everybody thinks that this is going to save Ring of Honor,
I don't know about that, but
we still. I love Marty, but I've never seen him actually do anything in the job he has.
Give Marty props for being able to play the field because they knew where he was planning on going. And now, if the rumor is correct, then he's making more money than he's ever been making probably in his career.
And he's an employee of
And-
Sinclair Broadcast, so he probably has some health benefits and whatnot,
Mhm.
too.
And he's, running the show, so he's kind of doing what his buddies are doing in AEW to a degree. I mean,
We can only just hope
picking
that
match outcomes and stuff.
that the bridge is built, and I'm not saying I don't think there needs to be if the two promotions can get along. I don't think there needs to be an invasion. I think there needs to be more so
no.
like, oh hey, Jay Lethal's gonna get a title shot. Oh hey, Jay Lethal will be on here, or Dalton Castle will be here,
Right.
and then Jurassic Express are gonna go to Ring of Honor for a little
Right.
while, or SCU will have a few dates in Ring of Honor, or hey, we signed. Here's Nyla Rose. She's got a lot of potential, but she's still struggling. Send her to ROH to wrestle there for
Women of
a few
Honor.
months in Women of Honor, and then have her come back a little more seasoned and ready to
Mm-hmm.
ready to fulfill that potential.
Yeah.
Easy final thoughts on Marty.
Just like we'll see what happens. Like I'm just like not totally upset. Like the fact he wanted to stay with ROH. It's like, all right, you wanted to stay, you wanted to stay. So
You can't blame him for taking the money.
Just over on it.
Yeah,
Just
I'm
like,
not. I'm not mad for taking the money. If he would have, but I do feel like
You do what you want to do. So
yeah, it's his life, it's his
he
bank
wants
account.
to stay. He wants to stay.
It is a little
It's just-
disappointing. It is a little disappointing though because I think now it's an even further long shot that we're gonna get we're gonna get that classic elite group together to do what
If
basically.
If ROH
Yeah,
wants
not
to
likely.
survive 2020, like at some point, maybe even the end of 2020, they have to try at least, maybe a pay-per-view where ROH stars fight the AEW stars. Great, now I just pulled a Jim Ross right there. ROH versus AEW pay-per-view, just see what happens. Just toy with it. Because in my opinion, the only reason 2019 survived for ROH was G1 Supercard, period. And Marty Scurll just trying to book it. Because when one of my best friends, Sydney from Pin Podcast, when she was at a Ring of Honor taping, the crowd was horrible. There was barely anybody there. And even Ring of Honor had a taping in Toronto during SummerSlam. Barely anybody went. It wasn't even on the night of TakeOver. It was a separate, I think it was maybe a Friday night. Barely anybody went.
Right.
Ring of Honor, they need collaboration to survive.
They do need collaboration, but I'll also play a little devil's advocate for Ring of Honor. They probably also you run a two-way street with an ROH versus AEW show. One hand, everybody's gonna go, well, my guy should win. No, my guy should win. No, my guy should win. No, my guy should win. And if Ring of Honor wants to beat AEW has a significantly more control in the situation than ROH. So if ROH is all like, well, Cody Rhodes is going down to, Matt Taven this week, and they go, go fuck yourself, then that could strain the relationship. And then on the flip side of things, if AEW kind of just plays patsy and goes, sure, come on here and be all our guys, you run the risk of, so they just let another group come in and make them their bitch. I think rather than AEW versus ROH, you kind of just, you test the waters. All right, like I mentioned earlier, hey, Dalton Castle and Jay Lethal are going to be in AEW for a few months. And they're going to be in some storylines. And they're going to, one's going to wrestle for the title. Or one's going to wrestle whoever. And then send a few AEW guys to kind of help booster just to be on the card for a final battle, for a Glory by Honor and whatnot.
I mean, isn't MJF still wrestling for Major League Wrestling? I literally see him like promoting a lot of MLW while he's still with AEW.
There's no tension between those two organizations. There's tension between ROH and AEW. So,
just in my opinion, just see what
MLW isn't
happens.
doing an
Try
AEW
one-
invasion angle.
I want to just see one show. That's it. And if it worked out, maybe something can happen. And this is exactly how All In happened, and thus AEW kind of birthed it. It's like, if you
Right.
can draw these crowds weekly or monthly, something could happen.
true. But we'll...
Like, All In was a test on
Well, and All In is the reason why ROH doesn't like AEW, because they said, we basically helped you do this, and now you fled and started your own group.
Mm-hmm.
But it remains to be seen. I think it needs to happen, but I also think that there's probably it's a lot more complex than why not just make it happen.
Right.
And yeah, I think that's pretty much it on the true villain, of Ring of Honor, matchmaking for Ring of Honor. So EZ, before you sign off, you want to plug your show coming on after ours?
Well, I said on Twitter that, like, because, like, I've just been, like, completely fatigued that I had to, once again, postpone Demolition. But, guys, I do an AEW Dynamite recap show that's called Demolition. It is on the Elite Era Network on YouTube. Follow me on Twitter at the Elite Era. Support my Patreon on patreon.com/the Elite Era. Like, I'm just trying to build so much. I'm even, like, trying to, like, make actually just some sports stuff. You know, just talk about sports, just some stuff outside of wrestling. And your host EZ is also turning 25 in 2 weeks.
There you go.
So,
All right. Well,
yeah,
spring
day of
chicken
Royal
you.
Rumble, and I literally commented, like, you know, I kind of forgot Royal Rumble's happening. And that's literally on my birthday.
yeah. It's a shame you didn't eat that burger last year.
I keep
But-
forgetting my birthday's coming up.
Yeah, but thanks for adding your input, EZ. Go follow him on all his stuff, and be on the lookout for him next time.
Alright, take care, guys.
See ya. All right. So NXT
NXT.
time. Thank you, EZ.
So Keith Lee says he's going to stop the Undisputed Era and start with Roderick Strong and take his belt.
All right.
We had more Dusty Classic. Mark Andrews and Flash Morgan Webster versus Pete Dunne and Matt Riddle, and Dunne and Riddle advanced. Ciampa and Gargano also hate the Undisputed Era, so, you know,
Yeah.
Adam Cole has their belts. The Time Splitters versus
Oh,
the
Brett
Grizzled
Reagan's
Young
here.
Veterans.
SCU.
Yes, I was trying to show you that.
Yeah, I had to.
That's fair.
We were
I
deep in conversation.
I understand. Time Splitters reunited versus the Grizzled Young Veterans.
Yes, this kind of killed my interest in the Dusty Classic. Now, if Alex Shelley was only signed on for, you know, one show and this was it, okay, I get it, but I'm not trying to knock NXT UK. I mean, granted, I'm not super familiar with it, but I feel like knocking the Time Splitters out for an NXT UK team is a bad call.
Yeah.
I feel like they should roll with the Time Splitters up until at least the finals. You know, you didn't have to win it, but here's the other thing. It's just it's a lot of NXT UK teams, and then a lot of like the thing with the Dusty Classic is you kind of find out how weak the tag division in NXT across both brands are.
It's no AEW.
Yeah, no. For all the grief about AEW's women's division, their tag team division is second to none. And NXT's tag division is Undisputed Era, Lorcan and you got Imperium and Mustache Mountain.
True.
That's about it. And then the rest were just kind of thrown together teams. I mean, like the Time Splitters. I mean, I guess they're not sticking together for too long, but
The Forgotten Son. No one remembers.
yeah.
Exists.
So-
Where was there a fire with all this rain? Anyway. Leo Rush versus Tyler Breeze versus Isaiah Swerve Scott for number one contendership, I believe, for the Cruiserweight Championship.
We're seeing Tyler
let's
Breeze
see,
go to his potential.
specifically, this is for one of the 3 spots in a fatal 4-way for the Cruiserweight Championship at the Worlds Collide show. So I guess they're gonna fill the other 3 slots with
Other people.
other people. More
Hopefully.
matches leading up to that, I guess.
Yep.
Scott won.
Cool.
Yep. Isaiah Scott. So.
Yeah, and then
Number one contender, NXT Women's Battle Royal.
Bianca Belair
who's
wins.
That's right. The EST.
okay. I mean, she's got a lot better. I'm a little more.
She's not going to be the one to beat.
She better not. She better not be the one to beat
It's
Rhea
not
Ripley.
time yet. It's not her time yet. That's my hot take, I guess. But,
Yeah.
So yeah, Belair won, and she is the new number one contender to Ripley, and that's about it for NXT.
lots
That's probably
of-
selling NXT a little short.
Oh, there
but
was a
that's
little.
about
Oh, there
it.
was also lots of Undisputed Era beatdowns or run-ins and whatnot. So, but now it's time to talk about AEW. Time to talk about
Boom.
a good tag division.
Yes, we start off with a fatal 4-way number one contenders match. 4 teams. The Young Bucks, Hangman and Omega, Proud and Powerful, and the Best Friends. They're still calling them Proud and Powerful, right?
Yes.
Okay. Santana and
Um,
Ortiz.
Here, this match was awesome. It was a match that Baron Corbin crapped on, but he's fucking garbage. He's fucking worthless, and he's a waste of roster space in the WWE. So, And before someone tells me, "Oh, he's doing a damn good job," no, I don't watch him. Okay, MJF is doing a good job. I don't watch Baron Corbin, but he decided to take a shit on this match because it's better than anything his worthless ass ever done. Liked the match. Surprisingly, Kenny Omega and Hangman Page won.
Yeah.
I really like their finishing move, the V-Trigger Buckshot Lariat combo. I would like to see Hangman and Kenny win the tag belts, but I feel like this is just a setup to continue the Hangman's kind of not all there and drinking too
Right.
much storyline. So,
Right.
but especially when it seems like Pac and Omega 3 is looming for Revolution.
Mhm.
One thing that'd be cool, but I'm not getting my hopes up, would be have Omega and Hangman win the titles and then have a triple threat at Revolution with Pac, and then they just keep teasing their tension and then have the title switch hands on another Dynamite or Dark even.
Ooh.
But yeah. I guess we should acknowledge that AEW Dynamite has been extended for 3 years, and Dark will be making its
On
way
TV.
to TV. So good for them. Not too bad for an Outlaw Mud Show t-shirt company, huh?
Yeah. Cody finally responds to the MJF stipulations.
Yeah.
How was this?
It was good. It was a good interview. However, I feel like there were a couple times another wrestling YouTuber had similar feelings to me. I don't like when the insider terms are used on television.
Oh.
Especially to continue a storyline. I don't like that either.
That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah.
Only Deadpool can do Deadpool.
Yeah. But pretty much, it was a good interview. But he kind of broke the fourth wall a little bit,
Mhm.
a couple times, but he did accept the terms. So I wonder what the 10 lashes is going to be like. That's going to be weird. So yeah, but good segment. Another amazing.
I think MJF himself would have a pitchfork wanting to know who thought this was a good idea.
Yeah.
Just saying. The rare random women's tag match this week. Chris Statlander and Hikaru Shida were supposed to be taking on Mel and Awesome Kong, but I guess it ended up being Mel and Brandy Rhodes.
Eek. It's just the Nightmare Collective. They need to get overhauled fast. That's all I'm gonna say. Wasn't a terrible match. Brandy, unfortunately, not the best wrestler. The other three ladies did their best to make up for it. Just didn't really work out so well. So.
And the Nightmare Collective lost.
And since they did lose, that gives me a little bit of optimism that maybe they're getting ready to retool them a little bit. You know, I think what was funny, like they hyped up how they brought in Luther, and then Luther just looked like an idiot the whole time in the match. It's like, okay. Gotcha. So if he's supposed to be feared, why did he just look like a moron?
Right.
I don't know. Mox and Sammy Guevara.
Mox versus Guevara.
I like this match. Liked it a lot. The ending sequence was really the post match was really good. It was you can tell this is a Rhodes company because they brought back the classic spike in the eye like was done with the Road Warriors on the Dusty. They did it with Jericho on the Mox. So you know,
sometimes the classics just work. I mean.
Yeah, Awesome Kong was sick. That's why Brandy fought, but still.
I mean, things happen. DDP, QT Marshall, and Dustin Rhodes versus The Butcher, The Blade, and MJF.
MJF came out wearing a shirt that said, "I banged Dallas's daughter."
He did indeed.
I thought this was a fun little match. DDP, he was kind of a little limited. Dustin and QT did the bulk of it, but DDP can still kind of go. He didn't take a whole lot he didn't fall a lot, but he did what he did, and he did do a dive off the top rope. QT is the one that lost the match for the team, but I'm okay with this because you still you leave it open-ended that DDP could come back and possibly have the singles match with MJF.
It's true.
Do I think that DDP could have a great singles match still? I don't know. But could he use that singles match with MJF to help MJF? Damn right he could. So
MJF got a win.
Mm-hmm.
Good job. Darby Allin versus Pac.
Awesome. Darby Allin in 2 years will be the AEW champion.
Man's not human.
No. And it was it was like just awesome. Darby Allin's the fucking breakout star of AEW.
Now, obviously, Pac won this match, just in
Yes.
case you didn't see it, but yeah.
And
He
Pac
earned it. Yeah.
and Pac is wrestling Moxley.
Yes, because
next
Pac
week.
said, "Hey, Moxley's injured, so obviously I'm the #1 contender now because rankings matter here." And
then Mox came out with his
appeared
with his eye patch on.
Pirate Mox said,
Jinx. Just kidding. Jedi. You're good.
Right. Yeah. So next week it's going to be Pac versus Mox to determine the true #1 contender
On Chris Jericho's Rock and Rager at Sea.
I know, right? I mean,
Gonna be awesome. Going to be
what
awesome.
a time to be a wrestling fan. Just
What
saying.
a time.
That was AEW in a nutshell.
Yep.
Good
If
little
AEW
show.
has secondary, Darby would be champ. Either him or MJF. I agree. Yes.
Yeah, one of those two.
Or
one of
Luchasaurus. One of those
Ooh,
three.
Yeah, true. Kind of the dark horse, but not really, because
Yeah.
I mean, yep, I'd agree.
SmackDown.
Daniel Bryan challenged The Fiend to a strap match at the Royal Rumble.
Okay.
Okay. Isn't that the one where they touch the four corners?
Depends. Sometimes touch the four corners, sometimes it's not. Oh boy.
Okay.
Why a strap match? I mean,
I don't know.
I will play
I guess
devil's
I'll have to
advocate.
watch the thing. I don't know.
I'll play devil's advocate a little bit. It is a violent feud that does warrant a strap match.
Yeah.
Or something a little bit bigger than a regular
The
match.
cynic in me was like, oh, because you can touch four corners, and that way you don't have to pin him for a count of three to take his belt. Since we've established him as unstoppable. But it's just me being cynical. Big E fought John Morrison, and John Morrison won with the Starship Pain.
I will be watching that match whenever I get to see SmackDown tomorrow.
There was Miz and Kofi Kingston on the outside and things, but
Miz and Morrison.
It happened. Yep.
Miz and Morrison reuniting was the reuniting a fucking strap match. Well, yeah. I mean, like, I don't get why they're doing a strap match either, but, you know, the man did have his hair ripped off of his head, so they're building up as a violent feud, so maybe a violent match. A violent match makes sense here as compared to other times where it's just like, all right, it's our first match, and it's going to be at Hell in a Cell. Yeah. So this actually does make a little sense.
And then we'll have a street fight, Falls Count Anywhere. There must be a winner match in Saudi Arabia after the Hell. Anyway,
so this makes a little more sense.
Yeah. Reliving that old fiasco. The Usos fought the Revival. The Usos won. The Revival afterwards, backstage, the Revival said that they need to make a change because the company cares about them as much as it cares about the tag division.
I'm still hoping they don't re-sign with WWE.
So yeah, apparently WWE is doing a story about how little they care about the tag division.
How many times does that happen though? How many times has there been like they don't care about the tag division, we're gonna make them care, and then it just peters out?
Mm-hmm.
How many times has that fucking happened in
Quite a
WWE?
bit.
Yeah.
Ooh, Lacey Evans beat Bayley in a one-on-one match with the women's right.
Oh boy.
Evidently. Isn't Bayley still champion?
The fact that Lacey Evans still has a job, it's ridiculous.
Apparently Chad Gable thinks Sheamus is just insecure, that's why he attacked him. Strowman still wants Nakamura's Intercontinental title, but he's also going to be in the Royal Rumble. Nakamura wants to remind us all that he won a Royal Rumble once. Well, actually, Sami Zayn wants to remind us that Nakamura won a Royal Rumble once, and he could do it again.
Yeah.
Elias apparently is no friend of Sami and Shinsuke, and he's going to win the Royal Rumble and play music for us because he loves us.
Everybody's going to win the Royal Rumble.
Still doing this whole Otis and Tucker and Mandy Rose story thing. Oh, Roman Reigns. He's going to be in the Royal Rumble, but he's also going to have a one-on-one match with King Corbin.
Oh boy. Again, I can't think of a wrestling match that I would care so little about.
That is as far as the particular thing that I...
Alright, well, there'll be some things I'll check out on SmackDown tomorrow when it's on Hulu. That is it for us this week, guys. Thank you very much for watching the show.
Oh, Kane made a show appearance.
Kane, you say?
Yeah, Kane said he wants one more WrestleMania, apparently. And he might be in the Royal Rumble.
Oh, well.
So,
you know who Kane's last opponent could be? Daniel Bryan.
Could be.
Be better than The Undertaker.
Yes.
And on that note, that is it for us this week. Thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you to EZ for giving us your thoughts on the whole Marty Scurll situation. Yeah, thank you everybody for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like, share, subscribe for more content, not just from the world of pro wrestling, but from the world of comic books, anime, gaming, and all things geek culture. Go follow me on all my social media pages, facebook.com/athleticgeek89, Twitter @athletic_geek89, and Instagram @athleticgeek89. Jedi, no social media because he got kids, ain't got time for that shit. Be sure to, I think I'll be making the post about it after all the matches are made official, so it'll probably be next week. Next Friday after the show, so you only got a couple days to get your entries in, but big contest. Winner gets a Marty Skrull autograph, a special item from the unboxing video, a DVD, 2 figures, 2 comics, and a t-shirt. Grand prize winner. So, it's a lot of stuff. A lot of stuff. So,
Yeah.
yep.
You have your own unboxing video.
You have your own unboxing video of all the cool stuff you get. If you win. First prize. Tune in next week for our Royal Rumble predictions. And for Jedi Jason Kruger,
Reloaded.
I am the Athletic Geek. We are just 2 marks. We're out.
Have a good one.